put asleep this seismitoad, and he does. He didn't see it on screen, and that toad is asleep. That is very good for Chris. And he's gonna flip and gets heads. The seismitoad is back up and ready to go. But he cannot get this turn 1 item lock unless he draws a switch or gets that scoop up in hand to hit heads. He plays it, and heads it is. That seismitoad on the bench is gone. We could see the turn 1 item lock here. Crushing hammer rolls off the table. You're gonna go again with the coin. Flips off the table. There you go, tails. Crushing hammer did not work. You see him play a laser of his own. Anthony does. Gets tails. Garatina, Seismitoad, Shaman for 5. Two very similar decks. Anthony going with Seismitoad, Garatina. Chris going with Seismitoad, Bats. Both very even players. Anthony, you see, plays that Ultra Ball. Looking to grab another Pokemon here. Might opt for that Shaman, try to get more cards in his hand. He definitely needs a DCE. If he wants a shot at that turn 1 item lock. And a Muscle Band would be nice as well. Well, oh, you see the Verbank, if he gets that DCE, it's a turn 1 knockout on that Zubat. Plays Shaman, sets up for 3 or 4. Does not get the DC. Oh, looks like he did, never mind. Tool Scrapper's the Muscle Band. Another Toad on bench. And then plays Juniper. And draws a fresh hand of 7. He got that Muscle Band. Computer search, let's see what he grabs. He's going for, a Head Ringer on that Toad. But Chris does have a Water Energy in hand, so it's not going to hurt him too much. But he will have to attach another energy to the Seismitoad that is about to be as active now. Losing an energy attachment is Let's see what they draw. Chris comes up with a Head Ringer, Muscle Band, Ultra Ball, with a Lysander as well. And he's going to go just for the Quaking Punch 30. Chris is in a very bad way right now. Looked like he was going to be in control of the game early on, but Anthony played through it. And looks like he's going to attach a muscle, maybe not, but attached a Muscle Band to his Garatina along with the Double Dragon. Oh, but he realized that Quaking Punch was in effect. And plays Juniper for a fresh hand of 7. See what he gets here. An item lock is a thing, unfortunately. Anthony just offers to Quaking Punch and end his turn. Chris doesn't really have much in his hand to work with, especially with this item lock. And when Toad decks face each other, it's very hard for both opponents to really play any items or anything. They got to get rid of those Toads as soon as possible. Chris looking to Lysander that Garatina there, trying to avoid item lock of his own. And he passes turn to Anthony. Still item locked. All those items in his hand and he can't play a single one. He might just dump his hand here. Let's see. The thing about dumping your hand with a Juniper is you're just wasting away at cards, and you could dick yourself out. You want to be very careful with those. But he does not have the DCE in hand, so he's going to opt to Juniper and hopefully get a DCE or a double dragon from his deck to try to attack with that Giratina there. The Giratina won't lock items, but it will lock stadiums, tool cards, and special energy, which is huge. He does get that DCE. Let's see what he does here. He may opt to retreat, but who knows? He knows that if Chris gets these items back, he might be in some trouble from enhanced and crushing hammers, team flare grunts, things like that. But he chooses to attack, do the 100 damage, try to get rid of that Toad. See Chris Ultra Balling here. You have Verbank and a Muscle Band. Both of these players play Verbank, so once one's on the field, the ones in your deck just go to rubbish. Grabs a Zubat, not choosing to grab Toad. Plays down the Zubat and scoops up, looking for heads. I don't think he got it. Oh, fell off the table, fell off again. He hits heads. He may opt for Shaman or Toad. He knows his Toad's in a bad way, so he chooses to pick up that Toad and promotes Zubat. He attaches a 1 water energy to Seismitoad. And let's see, he's got a Flare Grunt, which is a tool card he cannot play, a Lysander, and it looks like either an N or a Juniper in hand. He opts to play that Headringer. I don't think he... Okay, I guess he can. I'm not really sure on that ruling there. I think it says his opponent can't play them. Flips Tails. I believe that was a scoop up. And may opt to pass his turn here. Doesn't really have much to do. Yep, he does pass his turn. Which means Anthony can play all the items he wants right now. Anthony, I believe, still in control. Yes, he cannot play that Headringer. We do need a judge, I do believe. We'll see. But I could be wrong. Anthony, looking through his hand, he's got a lot to play. Let's see what he opts for. He can play all of his items now. There was no item lock. Quaking Punch. The Headringer's still there. We might need to inform a judge. They play. Anthony decides to play N. Gonna dump his hand, draw another 6. Both players, I don't believe, have taken a prize card yet. They draw a fresh hand of 6. Let's see what they plan to do here. Chris hoping for the best from that end. I'm not really sure what he grabbed. Anthony looking to retreat. Again, that head ringer is still on there. And he may quaking punch this Zubat away for 50. I guess the judge hasn't been called. I guess both players may realize that that was okay. I'm not entirely sure. Well, if somebody can hear me, they may need to call a judge. Well, Anthony, looks like a judge call was made, I believe. But I don't think they can reverse the game state. I'm not too entirely sure. Okay, the game state is being reversed. The head ringer was not supposed to be played. So both energies are going to go back, and I see Anthony is going to continue from where he was before. Let's see what the calling is. They may both have gotten a warning here for not being aware of the game state. So Anthony instead just opts to attach the float stone and quaking punch the Zubat that was in the active. I believe. The judge is still at the table, and I believe they're going to resume their game as it is. So Chris plays a Mewtwo and a DC, and it looks like he's playing Lysander to bring up that, he gets the knockout. Bring up that Giratina there, sorry. He X-balls for the knockout there. Anthony brings up Shaman. Chris has taken 2 prize cards. He's down to 4. Anthony's still at 5. X-ball on Mewtwo is very heavy hitting attack. Mewtwo's been around for a very long time, and it is nice to see him have so many plays. Still another Dex. Let's see, I'm not sure whose turn it is here. I think that is Anthony's discard. And I think Chris might have passed his turn when the Shaman was down. Or was it still Anthony's turn? I believe it was still Anthony's turn. Not attaching the DC to Seismitoad. He knows with that Mewtwo in the active that there's going to be some damage dealt to his Pokemon. So I'm wondering how Anthony's going to play this. He brings down the Shaman and quaking punches for 50. So item lock is in effect. He puts 30 damage from Crobat onto Anthony's Seismitoad. Attaches another DC to Mewtwo, Hex Maniac, and then X-balls for the knockout. Chris takes another 2 prize cards. Anthony is having a bad way right now. Attaches a DC to Seismitoad. He knows Mewtwo is a very heavy hitter right now, so he does need to get some sort of enhanced hammer or flare grunt or something off of those Mewtwo's. I mean, those energies off the Mewtwo in the active. He may be looking the VS Seeker for Juniper or maybe even N, because milling Chris down to 2 would be a very good play. But taking his time with this, he knows that the game's on the line and he doesn't want a loss. So let's see what he plans on doing here. He plays N, milling Chris down to 2. He's going to look for some sort of enhanced hammer or something to get those energies off that Mewtwo. Let's see what he plans on doing here. Grabs his 5. Didn't really get anything from there. He demotes Shaman, brings up Seismitoad with a DC on it. And Quaking Punch. There's nothing else really he could do here. Chris, top deck that Colress. He's going to get a lot of cards from that. Anthony is in deep trouble here. And looks like that double dragon fell out of his hand, so Chris knows that double dragon's in his hand right now. Chris having a definite hefty hand here. He may look to just X-Ball and see what happens. But Chris, if this Mewtwo gets knocked out, Chris needs an energy. Or else the game might fall out of his favor. Scoop up. Hits Tails. That was a big play. Anthony not really knowing what to do here. He's in a bad way. One Quaking Punch will not knock out this Mewtwo, so he needs to get that Seismitoad out of the active as soon as possible here. Because he may lose this game. Well, let's see what he does. He doesn't have much. He may have to Seeker for an end, maybe. For something. I know his deck is very low in card count, too. So let's see what he plans on doing here. Again, he knows that, he may get a loss from this. So, Pokemon players will do anything along the lines just to get this win. Again, shuffling through his discard, trying to find something. He doesn't want to give this game up. Attaches that double dragon to Giratina. VS Seeker for N. He's going to milk Chris back down to 2. Anthony's going to have, I believe, 5. He's going to hope for the best here. I don't think it's enough. So this may be game. Yep, Anthony scoops the game. Chris Saikala now 2-0. Looking to make his way to top 8. It was just he prized his enhanced hammer there. And just didn't work out for him. Unfortunately, that happens. You can see Chris prized his enhanced hammer and his rock guard. So definitely an intense game 2. Both of these players very experienced, but in the end, Chris Aikala gets the victory, and he's one win closer to making top 8 and winning the city championship. We'll be back for round 3 shortly.